Indianapolis, nicknamed Indy, is an elite rarity heavy cruiser from the Eagle Union and is part of the Portland class of heavy cruiser. She is available from both heavy and special construction at a timer of 1 hour and 50 minutes. The Medal of Honor requisition, as a login reward for logging in for 2 days, and from stage drops on stages 3-3, 4-4, 8-2, 11-4, 12-4, Visitors Died in Red A/C2, Fallen Wings A/C3, Inked Stained Steel Sakura A/C3, Strive, Wish, and Strategize SP2, and Crescendo of Polaris SP3. Indianapolis was launched from the New York Shipbuilding Corporation on the 7th of November 1931, commissioned on the 15th of November 1932, redesignated from a light to heavy cruiser, and was hit by 2 torpedoes from I-58 and sunk on the 30th of July 1945. Indy did the usual tasks an American heavy cruiser did in the Second World War. Here are her more interesting exploits. While escorting Lexington on the 20th of February 1942, 560 kilometers south of Rabaul, she and the other escort ships shot down 2 of 18 Japanese planes attacking the group, with the other 16 being shot down by Lexington. Assisted in the sinking of Japanese ships stationed at Kiska Island, though some shore batteries were missed before they were cleaned up. Sunk the Japanese supply ship Akagane Maru southwest of Attu Island on the 19th of February 1943. Became the flagship of the 5th Fleet under the command of Vice Admiral Raymond A. Spruance as the main fleet for Operation Galvanic, the invasion of the Gilbert Islands. During the invasion of Okinawa, Indy shot down 6 Japanese planes and damaged 2 on the 24th of March 1945. In the early morning on the 31st of March, a Japanese fighter bombed Indy's deck, which went through the deck, into the mess hall, through the berthing compartment, through the fuel tanks, through the keel, and then blew up in the water below, while the Japanese pilot crashed off her back left side. This killed 9 of her crew. Carried the parts of the atomic bomb Little Boy, which would be dropped off of Hiroshima, was hit by 2 torpedoes from IJN I-58, one in the front, the other in the side, at 12:15 a.m. on the 30th of July 1945. The torpedo's explosions caused Indy to list, or lean to the side, then 12 minutes later, roll over, before sinking. 300 sailors went down with Indy, while roughly 895 waited for rescue. U.S. Navy Command was unaware of Indy's sinking until her survivors were spotted 3.5 days later at 10:25 a.m. on the 2nd of August. Many of the survivors were found to be injured, malnourished, dehydrated, and delirious. Only 316 of the roughly 895 who survived the sinking survived long enough to be rescued. U.S. Naval Command investigated as to why Indy was ignored, with an official statement saying that no evidence was developed to show that Indy sent a distress signal. Declassified records show that 3 audio stations received the call, but none acted. Of the 3 station commanders, one was drunk, another was asleep and was told not to be disturbed, and the last thought it was a Japanese trap. Captain Charles B. McVeigh III, captain of Indy from November 1944 till her sinking, was court-martialed in November 1945 for failing to order his men to abandon ship and hazarding the ship. The abandoned ship charge was cleared, but he failed to zigzag for hazarding. The trial itself was poorly handled, as evidence was found that placed the blame on the Navy for putting Indy in harm's way. McVeigh had the orders to zigzag at his discretion, and McVeigh was completely uninformed of I-58's activity in the area. Commander Moshisuda Hashimoto, commanding officer of I-58, said zigzagging would have made no difference, as he would have sunk Indy anyways. Fleet Admiral Chester Nimitz later remitted McVeigh's sentence and restored him to active duty, where McVeigh later retired as a Rear Admiral. Some of the families of those who died in the sinking blamed McVeigh for their sons' deaths, though most didn't, with one such letter reading, "Merry Christmas! Our family's holiday would be a lot merrier if he hadn't killed my son." McVeigh later committed suicide in 1968 due to the guilt, whereas Gardner found the body. In her character art drawn by Saru, Indy wears a white bikini top, black short shorts, an open-chested shoulderless black coat with a yellow interior, a metal neck protector, 2 black straps with an anchor binding them together on her stomach, black fingerless gloves, white thigh highs, armored black loafers, 2 black and yellow horns, red and white squares underneath her eyes, and heterochromatic eyes, with the right eye being blue while the left is yellow. Her rigging consists of 2 armatures to her left and right, being attached to her upper back, with the armature to her left having 2 triple-barrel naval cannons with black and gray camo and a large robotic hand, while the right side has 1 triple-barrel naval cannon with black and gray camo and, again, a large robotic hand that has CA-35, Indy's hull number, on it. She sits on a nuclear bomb with a roaring demon painted on it, in reference to her carrying the parts and uranium for the Little Boy Uranium-235 bomb. The bomb she sits on, however, is based on the Fat Man bomb, as the Little Boy bomb was more cylindrical. In her voice lines, voiced by Aya Yokota, Indy is very low energy, has a slow reaction time, and listless.
ポートランド級従順2番艦、インディアナポリス。うるさい姉が迷惑をかけた。ごめん。核爆弾。よくわからない。指揮官。私はただ反応が遅いだけ。だからつっつかないで。聞いているから。私、お姉ちゃんみたいに元気でもないし、スタイルもお姉ちゃんほど良くないのに。でも、指揮官は私を選んでくれた。少し。とても嬉しい。嬉しい。でも、指揮官に何て言えばいいかわからない。だから、抱きついても、いいよ。危うく報告忘れかけたけど、委託が完了した。しまった。メール、ここ。どうしてお姉ちゃんは私のことずっと見てるんだろう。実は、他の人とちゃんと会話できなくて。私の番。わかった。私の反応が遅いだけ。お姉ちゃん、うるさい。ボーナス、運んだ。
At level 125 with max affinity and enhancements, Indy has 4,843 HP, 213 firepower, 257 AA, 177 reload, 61 evasion, medium armor, 26 speed, 129 accuracy, 23 luck, and consumes 10 oil. Indy has 2 skills and an AoA, with the skills focusing on buffing her own defense. Indy's first skill, Pandora's Box, which icon and name is a reference to the use of nuclear bombs, and no one knowing that it would open the metaphorical Pandora's Box of the Cold War every 30 seconds, spawns 2 rotating shields for 15 seconds that can block up to 8 shots each. When a shield is broken, it explodes and deals a small amount of damage to nearby enemies. Her second skill, Vice Defense, has an 8% chance to decrease the damage Indy receives by minus 50%. Her AoA looks like this, and is procced every 8 times she fires her main guns. It's alright if you're going up against a bunch of spread out enemies, but if you're not, you're gonna want to get up close to try and make all the projectiles hit like a shotgun. The recommended equipment for Indy is the prototype triple 203mm SKC main gun mount for the best armor-piercing heavy cruiser gun, the twin 100mm Type 98 Kai high-angle gun mount for the best general use auxiliary destroyer gun for breaking shields quickly, the twin 57mm L60 Bofors for the best general use AA gun, the repair toolkit for more survivability and the ability to passively heal, the high perf steering gear for a buff to evasion, survivability, and the chance to dodge all attacks, and the greatsword for a buff to firepower and the ability to slash attack. Compared to her sister Portland, Indy falls behind a fair bit. She can take a good amount of hits before going down, which has helped with her skills, with her first skill not only blocking shots but also dealing some damage when they break, and her second skill having the damage taken. Her tankiness can be buffed if Portland is in the same fleet as her, and uses her second skill to decrease the damage the entire fleet takes. But even with all that, she's not a good ship to use for either tanking or damage. Her first skill only activates every 30 seconds, meaning that for the first 30 seconds, you have no shield, and those shields will most likely go down pretty quick. Meaning that there's going to be a ton of downtime between when the shields go down and when you get new ones. Then with her second skill, it's only an 8% or a 2 in 25 chance for that damage she received to be halved. There's also her having to be paired with Portland to make Portland's first skill have any effect at all, and of course, her terrible gun mount efficiencies. Overall, for a free ship, she's not that bad, but she probably won't be used for long, even if you use Indy with Portland in the same fleet. It's a shame too, given how interesting her history is. My recommendation is to only use Indy if you have Portland in the same fleet as her, and even then, don't use them for long, as you'll probably get someone better later on, like a PR ship or some SSR UR ship that is leagues better. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter for updates, and please check out my other Arknights and Girls Frontline videos as well.